Good morning. This is your 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. Seeing cloudy conditions continue around the area this morning, as well as some breezy conditions. We have just seen a few peak wind gusts up at or above 25 knots, so we have issued a wind advisory at this time, and we'll likely see that stick around as we move through the coming hours. Otherwise, we'll see a chance for some precip moving in the area today, as we do have a disturbance moving mainly to our south, but we'll bring some moisture up into the local area with a good chance of seeing some precip, maybe mainly during the afternoon time frame. Generally expecting this to start off as some light rain, and then possibly seeing some light snow mixing in as we get into the mid to late afternoon, but not expecting any significant accumulation with that snow activity. Taking a look at the current surface analysis, we can see this weak area of low pressure off to our southwest. It's going to be tracking off to the east, again just to our south, as upper level trough settles in with some cooler temperatures over the region, and that will be the focal point of that precip activity. Again, more precip and snow activity will be falling off to our south and southwest, but here we will be just on the northern edge of that precip field as we move through the day today. Take a look at the current local radar picture here. We do have some light radar returns that have moved in and over the local area, generally seeing most of this not make it to the surface as we've moved through the morning so far. Still struggling to see any of that make it to the surface right now. Just seeing a few light sprinkles here or there, and that's what we are expecting as we move through the next couple hours. Generally just some light sprinkles to maybe light rain at times, and then again as we get later in the afternoon, a chance for some light snow. But overall precip totals look to be fairly minimal as we move through the day today, so not expecting any significant amount in that way either. As we look at the broader picture here in the visible satellite, we can see the composite radar indicating a bit more in the activity off to the southwest, and again most of that's going to stay south of the local Wallops area as we continue to see those cloudy conditions overhead. Take a look at the short-term high-resolution model for what we can expect as we move through the day today. Again, we'll see that precip building in mainly south of the area as mentioned, and starting to edge upward, particularly as we get into the afternoon time frame. You can see the model here indicating that reflectivity in the frozen color here. Again, we will continue to be just on that boundary along the coastline as we often see here, and looking at some northeasterly to northeasterly winds as we move through the day, so that's going to help keep temperatures most likely just above freezing, making most of this precip a light rain event. Again, as we get later in the afternoon, we do expect a downward trend in the temperatures, and that's going to be when we see the better chance of maybe some light snow mixing in with that rain activity. But as we get into the late afternoon and evening time frame, that systems will start pulling away, and with it any precip chance will pull away. And overall, again, not expecting like high precip rates as we get through the day today, so just generally overall light amounts. If we zoom out and look at the longer term forecast here, we'll see that system pulling away as we move into our Tuesday, and we'll start to see temperatures trying to moderate as we move through Tuesday and into Wednesday as those winds shift more southwesterly. Looking at a breezy day for Wednesday, but more seasonable temperatures before another trough dips into the region as we go into the end of the week, once again bringing some below average temperatures moving into the end of the week and into the weekend. Next chance of precip looks like we could see a disturbance try to move through the area as we get late into the evening, Friday evening, and into the early morning hours. As you can see, possibly some light rain, snow potential there, but not as high confidence in that at this time, and then generally looking at drier and chilly conditions as we move through the remainder of the weekend here. So looking at the 24-hour weather risk chart for today, we have increased that risk for winds that are above 25 knots to a red risk as we have issued that wind advisory this morning, and keeping that fairly elevated as we move through the day today as we continue to see those winds peaking around 25 knots for our gust, and seeing sustained winds 10 to 15 knots. We'll see a slow decrease in the temperature as we move through the day today. staying mainly above freezing, so it's going to keep any light precip in the rain form until we get into the later afternoon as we approach closer to freezing, where we'll have the potential for that light snow mixing in. But yeah, best chance of seeing precip around the area will be between that 12 and 16 local time frame, and then we'll see that start to pull away as we get into the evening time frame. At the same time, this one we'll start to see those gustier winds on the decrease with things settling down, and we'll start to see clouds clearing as we get into the early morning hours of Tuesday, setting up for a cold morning with a low expected around 24 degrees. Tides running slightly above normal. Looking at the extended forecast here, as you can see, I'm looking at mostly sunny to partly cloudy conditions for our Tuesday. Temperatures slightly milder, but still on the chilly side. As we get into Wednesday, seasonable temperatures with a high around 52 degrees, but we will see some breezy conditions with a good chance of seeing a wind advisory once again on Wednesday. Staying breezy as we move into Thursday and slightly cooler, and then cooler air moves back in as we move into the end of the week and weekend. Temperatures for our highs back down into the mid to lower 40s here, and just about a 25% chance of seeing a precip late Friday and Saturday, as confidence still remains fairly low. But overall, partly to mostly cloudy conditions on and off as we move through the extended forecast here. That's going to wrap up the 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. We'll be back again tomorrow at 8:15 and 10 a.m. Enjoy the rest of your day.